This webinar is titled, Is Your AppSec Program Mythos Ready? So this model and other models like it not only present opportunities for AppSec teams, they are likely to be used by cyber criminals to expedite the way they hack organizations. There are really three things that we're going to talk about today that organizations need to do in their readiness program for this new wave of AI cyber threats. First, you really need to make sure that you are doubling down and ensuring that you have good automation and coverage in your AppSec program. Second, you need to make sure you have good visibility and control over your software supply chain. And third, you need to be advancing towards making effective use of AI in your own AppSec program. Good enough AppSec is no longer good enough in the presence of AI. And so that brings us to our first imperative, which is to make sure that you're automating security assessments consistently and holistically across your organization, with the emphasis here on consistency and complete coverage. Any gaps in their AppSec testing coverage present the easiest way for cyber criminals using AI to attack the applications in your portfolio. The next thing that you need to be shifting your focus to is on remediation automation. As the time to develop exploits drops to less than 1 day, that means that your remediation practice also needs to be automated and fully mechanized to minimize the time it takes to remediate. Next, let's shift to your software supply chain. Before this era of AI-powered supply chain attacks, vulnerabilities existed in the code for months or even years without being detected. But at some point, those vulnerabilities were discovered, often by the project maintainers or security researchers. When that happens, usually within hours or maybe days, vulnerabilities are also available on the web. So hackers will immediately start targeting those open source components because they know that they can use that same exploit across a wide number of companies and software packages. Now, if your team is maintaining a accurate and detailed SBOM for the software, you're hopefully able to respond to the vulnerability alert if you receive it and patch that software before you can be hacked. What's changing now is that in the presence of AI, all the time frames for remediation compress. So now any gaps in your software bill of materials, any gaps in your scanning to begin with, or any missed alerts, as well as the time it takes for you to remediate, dramatically increases the risk to your organization. So it's absolutely imperative that you have good visibility and control of your software supply chain, which brings us to this second imperative. And so what does that mean? It means you need to make sure that you are, again, scanning all of the software you ship with an SCA tool to develop a complete and accurate SBOM. Reachability and exploitability are now as important as severity. You need to take those into account. A vulnerability alerting solution, like what is available from Black Duck, to make sure that you're getting near real-time alerts with detailed, actionable information that you can use to expedite your remediation activities. So what about AI for application security? So certainly Mythos and the announcements show that it's a game changer for security researchers. But the reality is it's an AI model. And as such, it's not necessarily a silver bullet for security and development teams that are building and shipping software in a DevOps high velocity model. This cost performance dynamic for pure LLM analysis isn't necessarily compatible with the continuous security testing that most teams need to do as they continue to develop software. Now, this is why we have built and added Signal into our product portfolio as a solution that will leverage AI, both generative and agentic AI, reduce the time to find, but more importantly, the time to remediate vulnerabilities. And Signal fits alongside our Polaris platform and augments traditional AppSec tools and techniques. So this allows you to integrate AI analysis into your CI/CD workflows in a way that maximizes the performance, minimizes the cost, and works with your teams the way they're working today and prepares them for the wave of AI AppSec in the future.